no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
It's Raiders mailbag time here on the Raiders Report. If you haven't already, hit that big red button that says subscribe, where we do live shows every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. We got a super chat leading off this mailbag here from Hashim Shabazz. Mitch, Carl is not that good. I don't care if he's gay, but 11 assists, 2.5 sacks, 1 INT last year, and his production with Tampa Bay was not great either. $25 million for 3 years makes you think. Was Nassib worth the $25 million over 3 years? No, he wasn't. But he did play 464 snaps this past year, second most among all defensive linemen for the Raiders, behind only, Max Crosby. But I've said it 100 times on the show. I would try to get rid of Carl Nassib because his contract simply does not make sense. But is he at least a halfway decent depth player? Yes, it was just a bad fit. He's built more for a 3-4 defense. He had 6.5 sacks coming out of Tampa Bay. It was just overall a bad fit. Let's go to this next one coming in from Can't Walk, as I have to clear my throat. Raiders, we are family. Much love. We got you, Carl Nassib, 94. That's right, Can't Walk. And I appreciate that one because, again, way too many people when I was doing my live show were saying, honestly, pretty despicable things about Carl. And, Carl, I just want you to know, I got your back, and as long as you're wearing the silver and black, as long as you are a person that respects himself and can come out and be as brave as you were, I got you. But I've also been watching Carl since his days from Penn State, since he used to have season tickets back in the day. All right, we got Memeto G, Carr or Stafford. If you were to ask me who I would rather have on my team as a quarterback, I will take Derek Carr. I had him at ranked higher than Stafford. I do think that Stafford has a higher ceiling just simply due to the arm talent. The Rams are going to be a tough football team basically because of that defense, but Stafford is also in this awkward situation where him and Carr are kind of both talented but have been on shitty teams. So really interested to see what he does this upcoming season. All right, we got Scott Brogan. Mitch, the Raiders need to look into signing Dez Bryant. Throw up the X. If the Raiders sign Dez Bryant, I will literally throw up an X because this man's just washed up at this point. Like, I get that you guys want to maybe bring in somebody who's got a little bit of star power, but he's not. I mean, is he actually better than Willie Snead? Is he better than Zay Jones? I actually do not believe so. So I'm going to say, sorry, Dez. I'm good. I'm respectfully going to pass. We got another question coming in here. This one's from Bradley McCormick. Who will start in the slot? Because I have no flippin' idea. I'm a betting man, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but it seems like it's going to end up being Nevin Lawson. Now, maybe Nate Hobbs can find a way in. Maybe Amik Robertson can squeak his way in, but I'm a betting man. I'm going to go ahead with Nevin Lawson due to all the latest reports. But if you don't agree with me, hey, it's all good. Who's going to end up starting in the slot cornerback position this upcoming season for the Las Vegas Raiders? If it is Nevin Lawson, then, well, he's going to be suspended those first 2 games, so maybe you see Nate Hobbs. Maybe Damon Arnette does get a shot. Maybe Amik Robertson does stick around. But if that's who we're relying on, can we please go out and get another cornerback in free agency? Maybe somebody like Brian Poole. All right, we got another super chat coming in from my man Sean Forbes. Hey, Mitch, love you, man. Hope all is well. Just wanted to say hey and tell you I'm super proud of Carl Nassib. Being a gay man myself gives me a lot of hope for the future Raider Nation. I think, Sean, you, and I know you've talked to me before in the DMs, and I know a lot of people have also come out, like, sooner or later, I hope that somebody coming out as gay isn't breaking news. It's just news because, again, why are we going to judge somebody to live the way that they want to live? So, Sean, shout out to you, and appreciate the super chat, my brother. All right, Daniel, what's up, man? Since Carl came out, will his play improve this year since he doesn't have to hide who he is now? I don't think his play is going to change whatsoever. I don't think anything's going to change whatsoever. His play probably is going to stay the same. Just because he comes out doesn't mean he's going to be better. It doesn't mean he's going to be worse. And also, definitely has nothing to do with him coming out, also has nothing to do with him trying to stay on the team. If you're a guy out there saying that he said that so he doesn't get cut or so he doesn't get traded, go F yourself. All right, we got YD223. What's good, Mitch? Do you think we should get rid of Mayock solely off his questionable first draft picks these past couple of years? If the Raiders' picks don't play well this season, and you're already seeing that, I mean, think about it. They already gave up on Lynn Bowden Jr. It sounds like they're already giving up on Damon Arnette. They might have already given up on Amik Robertson as well. You do have to at least consider the fact of them taking way too many reaches earlier on. Plus, all the bad moves that you made in free agency. I put Mike Mayock on the hot seat. I put John Gruden on the hot seat. So, yeah, if it doesn't pan out this year, I could definitely see them getting rid of Mike. What up, Raider Frank? How many Chucky heads on Amik Robertson making the 53-man roster? Before I give you guys my answer, if you want to go down in the comments section and let me know how many Chucky heads on Amik making it, I talked about it on my Rumors show on Tuesday, so if you haven't seen it, please go back and check it out. I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking for the simple fact of he was a 4th-round pick a year ago and a player that I actually liked a lot. But it already sounds like, due to reports, that he's 3rd on the roster in terms of depth at the slot position. The only thing that might save him in the beginning is that Nevin Lawson is suspended those first 2 games. But after that, you could potentially see them move on from Amik after Week 3 once Nevin Lawson comes back. So it's something to keep in mind. If they do decide to move on from Amik Robertson, if you're curious about who is going to end up making the 53-man roster, we're going to have videos coming around about the top topics going on around the Las Vegas Raiders. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. It's how we turn the lights on around here. It's how I pay my bills. We keep this show for free because I believe that content deserves to be free. So if you guys could, please subscribe and support the show. Let's go to Raul Corona. What is holding up the Raiders from signing Ingram? It's funny that you mentioned that. So on Tuesday, Casey Hayward, former teammate of Melvin Ingram, actually tweeted at something that was like, who should sign Ingram? And he said, the Raiders. Right now, I think what's actually holding up Ingram from signing anywhere is the medical. He's already worked out with the Miami Dolphins, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, and I actually think there's another team in there as well. The reason why he hasn't got signed, he hasn't been passing his medical, so that should definitely be a red flag. All right, we got Raider Ed. Raiders more likely. Raiders finish 12-5 or 5-12. I'll say 5-12 is probably the more likely scenario, simply because until I see a 12-5 football team, until I see a team that can actually finish the season strong, I can't put them there. So I hate to say it, but I guess 5-12. It's also because the schedule, it's a hella tough schedule. But I also have the Raiders going 10-7, so come at me. We got SW Gill. Yannick, will have 14 sacks. I projected 12 sacks for Yannick, and I projected 11 for Crosby on last week's Raiders live show. If you guys want to try to go ahead and take a stab at how many he's going to have, he's been saying all the right things. He loves being a Raider, and he's bringing a ton of fire. If he ends up having 14 sacks, so that'll be a career high for him. He's had at least 8 sacks in all 5 years of his NFL career, but he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now, 26. He feels very disrespected, and I'm excited to see what he does in Gus Bradley's system again. We got Raider Nation 98. What do you think we could get if we traded Robertson and Arnette? If you traded Amik Robertson, you'd be lucky to get a 6th, maybe 7th round pick. If you trade Arnette, I'm probably in the boat that you'd be lucky to get a 3rd. You're probably going to get a 4th rounder because a lot of NFL people out there had a 3rd round grade on Arnette. And if you're already going to move on from him this early, that's not such a good thing. So I'd probably say 6th or 7th rounder for Amik, 3rd or 4th rounder for Damon Arnette. But if you guys want to go ahead and name a surprise cut candidate, out of all the surprise cut candidates right now, the name that's really starting to jump out to me is actually Amik Robertson. And you just got to go back. You got to look at reports. And if he doesn't have a good training camp, he could be a player that ends up popping up. When I think of surprise cut candidates, I remember 2 years ago, Brandon Marshall for the Raiders ended up getting cut. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, shit. No, I didn't really see that one coming. I'm trying to think of a surprise cut candidate last year, but none are really jumping off at me at this current moment. But if you guys could, name a surprise cut candidate this upcoming season. So I don't get cut off at the Raiders Report. If you guys want to hit me up on Instagram, it's at Mitchell Renz 365. If I missed your question during today's live show, my DMs are open for a reason. Please go ahead and let me know what your question is. Also, going to be doing more IG Lives coming up. I don't know if I'll get to one this week, but definitely one next week as well. So if you want to join me for an IG Live, seriously, hit me up. More than happy to do so. We got Cookie Monster. Do you see the Raiders picking up Ferrell 5-year option this year? Oh, man, that is a tough question. Honestly, no. I don't see the Raiders picking it up simply because he has not shown whatsoever that he deserves to be a first-round pick, let alone a top 4 overall pick. Like, he's been a good player, but you really have to consider the fact of what would you rather do if you're the Raiders? Do you pick up his 5th-year option, or do you save some of that money and try to prepare to give Max Crosby a longer contract, right? Do you try to maybe give somebody, I don't know, a Mullen a longer contract down the road? Do you try to keep, Yannick around? There's a lot of different things, but for Ferrell, good player, I just don't see them giving him that 5th-year option unless he just absolutely balls out this year. We got Dakota Haddock. FTB and FAB. Am I right or am I right? You are right. But if you had to pick one, who would you say more? So would you rather say F Tom Brady, F Trent Brown, or F Antonio Brown? Let me know down in the comments. Let's go to Ava Stanley. What up? Do you believe if Damon Arnette starts, he will be benched sometime during the season? I actually don't think Damon does start. I don't know where you're going to end up slotting him in. Maybe they try to move him at slot corner the first 2 weeks since Nevin Lawson suspended, but he's not going to start over Casey Hayward, and he shouldn't start over Casey Hayward, and he definitely shouldn't start over Mullen. Now, maybe they try to throw Hayward in the slot position those first 2 weeks and then try to put Damon out there at the cornerback too, but if reports are that he's already an afterthought, man, I don't see him starting much this year.